You're listening to 98.3 WLGN. My name's James Martin, and I'm from Explore Hocking Hills, and I have with me today several folks that are going to be talking about an expo that's coming up, and we're going to start off by talking with Don from the Smokestack Hobby Shop. Don, tell us about the Smokestack Hobby Shop.
I'm Don Reardon, and I'm the owner of the Smokestack Hobby Shop, along with my wife, Patty. It's an old school kind of hobby shop. We're located in Lancaster, Ohio. We're on Lincoln Avenue, also known as Route 22. And the shop is kind of a throwback kind of hobby shop. Many of them today specialize in certain things, either trains or radio control or models or fantasy stuff. We have it all. So we are large. We're over 8,000 square feet. Pretty unusual these days for a hobby shop, and we carry everything from trains to radio control to model kits to building tools for those model kits, puzzles and games, and just all kinds of fun stuff. Everything that any family might want, you can get in there. The shop was founded in 1977 by a man named Dale Kennedy. He retired in 2013, and Patty and I took over at that point and have been running it since then. And we have quite a crew of people that help us out, and one of them is Mike Doolin, who is one of our train crew guys here.
Yeah, welcome to the program. Tell us a little bit how you got involved.
Having gone in the hobby shop before Don and Patty purchased it, loved trains and hit them up one time. If you ever need a part-time person to help with the train department, I'm available, and the rest they say is history. So I've been there going on 8 years. I have a great train department, one of the largest, certainly in southeast Ohio, if not Ohio, dealing with all scales. So it's a fun place to work, a lot of great customers, and come in if they're in the area and visit us.
It sounds like an ideal place to work, doesn't it? That you're going in there and you're having fun, essentially.
Being an avid model railroader, it's a great place to work.
That's awesome. And Tony, you're from the Flying Forks RC Club. Tell us a little bit about the club.
Well, the Forks, which is actually the Fairfield, Ohio Radio Control Society, they were established in 1965 by some hobbyists that enjoyed aviation. Back then, you did most of the work yourself as far as you built your own radios. They put the radios in the airplanes, and they flew them on the weekends. And if you got your airplane back, it was a good day. But things have evolved a lot since then. So the Forks is now it's a very well-established and active RC model airplane club, and we really just get together to enjoy the hobby in each other's company.
You've been listening to James Martin on Travel Talk. Thanks for listening. You're listening to 98.3 WLGN. My name's James Martin, and I'm from Explore Hocking Hills, and I have with me today several folks from the Smokestack Hobby Shop. With all of this stuff coming out with drones, has that changed the environment at all?
Yes and no. I mean, the drones were very, very popular at one time, and everybody had to have one, and everybody went out and started flying them, and you either got bored with it or you got in trouble with it. All the same, it did reflect on the RC hobby some, as far as, just anybody can go out and fly it. The drones are pretty much automatic. They can pretty much fly themselves, whereas an RC airplane, you do actually have to fly the airplane.
It's almost like going back from CDs to vinyl. This is like going back to how the hobby started, and it's more involved, I'm guessing, isn't it?
It's a lot more hands-on, yeah, sure.
The reason why you guys are here is because you're talking about, you have a Lancaster Hobby Expo, which is going on Saturday, April 13th from 9 till 3 o'clock. How about you tell us a bit about it, Don?
Well, the Hobby Expo is an evolution of something that we've been working on with Tony for a while now. The Forks actually would get together once a year and have a swap meet. I guess, is that the right term, Tony?
Sure, yes.
Yeah, they would have a swap meet at the fairgrounds, and they did that long before we came along. And when Patty and I took over the store a couple of years in, we decided we should have a train show, And because those are a thing in the fall and over the winter, train shows. It's an indoor hobby, so that's when the hobby sort of reaches its peak time. So we would have a train show, and we wound up having the building right across the sidewalk, basically, from Tony and the Forks. And we weren't necessarily competing, but we were doing our things at the same time on the same day. And it occurred to us, well, this is kind of silly. Why don't we join forces and combine and call it a Hobby Expo? And so people can come out, and for the price of one ticket, you can go into both buildings and see trains and model kits and layouts and operating items on one building, and you can go to the other one, and you can see radio control airplanes and helicopters and drones and RC cars and trucks. And the way we've structured it is it costs $5 for basically a family, but really it's just an adult male. It costs $5, and everybody else is free. The rest of the family can get in. So very affordable. The parking is free. There is food, great food available. The Forks have provided all the food that's for sale in both buildings. They have their famous free coffee. And so it's just a great local event that is very affordable for people to come and see.
This sounds great. And for $5.
$5.
Wow. Okay, that's awesome. Okay, so Mike, what are you looking forward to?
I'm always looking for new items, of course, at the train show. We have a great time. A lot of people come in year after year from the region to visit the show. So being a model railroader myself, I like to look around too, see what's new for sale. It's a great time for everybody.
You've been listening to James Martin on Travel Talk. You're listening to 98.3 WLGN. My name's James Martin, and I'm from Explore Hocking Hills, and I have with me today several folks from the Smokestack Hobby Shop. Tony, do you want to just run down the basics again? Tell us where it's at, times, and all of that other good stuff.
Sure. The Lancaster Hobby Expo is not this coming, but next Saturday, April the 13th, 2024. We're at the Fairfield County Fairgrounds. They call it the AAA building. We're clearing the back, and then the Sands building is right beside us. That's where the Smokestack Hobby Shop has theirs. So you just walk across the parking lot and you're into both buildings.
Okay, and I'm sure this is going to be a huge success. What are the numbers normally like? Do you know?
I don't know what the attendance numbers. I don't remember. We sell tables, so vendors can come in and do their swap stuff, and I've got, I think, 60 tables available in my building, and I forget what Tony.
We've got 85.
85. So there's almost 150 tables, and we are sold out completely. So we will have 150 potential vendors there to come through. I would say our attendance figures, if I had to throw a dart at the board, and I'd say maybe 500 people come
I'd say probably 500 for each building.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So if you have anybody that, say, somebody in their family had an interest in it, and somebody still has some old RC equipment, is there somebody that they can go to talk to? Do you just go to the hobby shop or to the club? What would be the best thing?
Probably the easiest connection would be the hobby shop. To stop in the hobby shop, whether it be trains or airplanes or model kits or whatever. Any kind of wisdom you need, it'll be down there.
Okay. And Mike, what sort of age range do you expect to have at the expo?
Little tiny kids being dragged along from their parents to older adults that have been dealing with trains and playing with trains their whole lives. So it's a full gamut of age.
That's great. Okay. And is there like a particular decade where a lot of this model stuff all comes from, or is it just right across the board?
It's totally across the board. You'll see old Lionel items from the 40s and 50s up to items being manufactured right today. Totally across the board.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for coming in, guys. Just to remind everybody, this is the Lancaster Hobby Expo. That's going on Saturday, April 13th. That is from 9 until 3. And the address is at the Fairfield County Fairgrounds, and of course that's on East Fair Avenue in Lancaster. You've been listening to James Martin on Travel Talk. Thanks for listening.